citizenship before anyone gets medical care. No proof, no treatment. Shops owned by foreigners are burned. People are beaten in the streets. Police often watch or join in. This is not new. 2008, nationwide attacks. Over 60 people killed, 1,700 injured, 100,000 displaced. 2015, another wave. So bad the military had to intervene. 2019, more attacks, more deaths. Now in 2026, it's happening again. Nigeria and Ghana have summoned South African diplomats. Mozambique's president flew to meet Ramaphosa. The African Union stays silent. No intervention, no prosecutions. The perpetrators walk free. Here's the bitter irony. During apartheid, Africa stood with South Africa. Mandela said the victory was won because of African solidarity. Now, black South Africans are killing black Africans. President Ramaphosa gives weak statements, promises crackdowns, but nothing changes.
All right. So, before we continue, Tolu, your fans are asking for you. They say they can't hear, they can't see, they can't see you. See, lad is not on camera today. All you're going to do is hear her voice. She said if she's not going on camera, that her wig shall not stand it. So anything she give us, yam, knife, we take it.
Oh my gosh, Shani, you're not serious.
I'm serious. They're commenting on my Instagram asking for you. You're the toast of the nation.
Okay, so Tolu, take this away so they can hear your voice.
Actually, what?
Take
Go
it
for
away.
it. Take it
Okay.
away.
So basically, I mean, we've all heard about what did I call it that time? Xenophobia. Was it-
I don't know. Tolu called this something.
what did I call it? Okay, God.
I can't remember what to say.
We've heard about what's happening in South Africa, and this is really sad. And this is not something that just started today. It's something that's been happening before. It's happened in, I think, 2007. It happened in 2015, like, if I'm not mistaken. But I mean, it's been happening in the past. So we are hearing situations, stories of where South Africans are, maiming or killing or bullying Nigerians, but not even just Nigerians, Africans generally, trying to, bully them out of their shops, trying to bully them out of hospitals, asking them to leave, the same way blacks are being treated in America. Go back home. That's exactly what's happening in South Africa. I mean, we remember the story last year. I think it was last year when we had that was it beauty contest of when a Nigerian girl she got to semi and to final, and as South Africans were not having any of it, and you see what happened, how they dirty the girl, and the girl just said, you know what, let me just step down before you could just kill my name. So you can imagine black on black, and this is a problem that is happening. But why I like this story, and I think it was two questions, but why I like this story, because it's going to help us shed a light on not just South African black on black hate crime, but on the world generally. Even let's even start with Canada. There's one ideology that people have, that even we Nigerians, we don't like ourselves, we don't help ourselves. When you compare us to the Indian community, for instance, we see how Indians are helping themselves. For instance, you go to Tim Hortons today, you see all these employees there at Tim Hortons, because the owner of the manager of Tim Hortons is probably an Indian person.
Yeah.
Like, so they've all hired themselves. You even hear of Indians setting up companies and hiring themselves, So we know that they have that community and they all help themselves. Nigerians, we have the community, but why is it that we're not helping ourselves? A lot of Nigerians, they all have their own, everybody has their own reason. Some people say, oh, because they don't want, people will say, I don't want this person to be bigger than me, or to be better than me. I don't want this person to, to look as if, and they are better than me, or to make more money than me, and all that. But I think, and maybe this is the teachings I've done from school, because I teach part-time, I think maybe this is more in-depth. I think this has to do with, it's an internal problems that we as Africans have. And I remember when I was watching or I was reading something, an article on that Hotel Rwanda. I think I watched it, but I've read something on it. if you guys are familiar with that story of Hutus and Tutsis that they killed themselves, and that's started when the white man went and he took the two communities, he compared them, now said, okay, this one, you guys, you are fine, you are tall, you have nice nose, you this one, you are short, you are black, so segregates them. So I think that's where it started. So that segregation caused a problem with these people. So when the white people now left, the people that they segregated to the poor community and said they are ugly, they now came out with hate and said, hey, people are fine. Let's see how far you are, and start killing them. So I think this thing started like that. Like most of us have this generational hate, this systematic hate that has been passed on to us. And when I say systematic hate, from our forefathers, that when this person looks better than you, I don't want this person to be better than you, so I want to be better than them. So that idea, that that you now start hating. So I personally believe that is where, because this is not, it's not a normal thing. Even how can you have? I was telling one of my white colleagues, even in Nigeria, we have tribal wars. You hear someone because you're not Igbo, we can't give you this thing. Because you're not Yoruba, like don't serve them food. Because you're not Hausa, you can't marry each other. Do you understand? So it's not even, this is not even again, this is not a South African problem. It's not a South African black, it is now a black man's problem. And for me, I think it's a disease that's spreading. And I'm wondering how as human beings we can find a way to stop this or find a way to end this. I don't know. This is just my personal take on it. It just got me thinking. When I watched it and I started thinking back, it just got me thinking deeply, and and I just started relating it to us here. So now white man is no more a problem now. Black man is now our problem. Where do we want to stand? We go to, you go to Yankee now, they are to go to deport you. You go to your African country too, they are deporting you. So what is the problem? Kill a shewa? What is our sin as a black man? Is it a sin to be black now? Like what have we done? Why? What is it? Anyhow, I'm sorry for the rant.
No. He says sorry. This is opinions out loud. This is, you are speaking your opinion. I want to welcome into the guest, the esteemed guest into our studio. My English is leaving my head. Esteemed guest. Now this is a foremost. In fact, I can't wait for Nelly to join. This is another lawyer. Oh, Nelly and
Be bloody. Be bloody. Hey,
No,
right?
no, no. I want to commend you guys. No, this is such an. In fact, Shadi, I've been in the comment section following. I don't know what time you go on, but I always go and watch the videos. And everyone you bring on always so articulate, so profound, so deep and rich in insight. I just love it. So I was like, it's vexing me. Let me come and check my mouth. But I would be happy to just listen. I'm really learning from you guys.
Never. So again, we're not trying to stir up anything. We're really just trying to have some conversations if we can.
Very important.
Right?
Yes.
And this is something, as someone who has been to South Africa a couple of times, I'll tell you that as a black person, I never felt complete in South Africa. Now, I love South Africa. I think it's a gorgeous place. The weather, the atmosphere is gorgeous. But I feel more at ease in Kenya. I feel more at ease in Rwanda.
But I feel more at ease in South Africa than in the US.
That's a separate conversation.
Where in South Africa did you go to there? Say I feel better in
Joburg. Joburg is, I feel more at ease in South Africa than in the US. And Shade knows that.
But Tolu's point is, and I agree. We need, of course, we can talk about the historical antecedents of how South Africa got to where they got to. But what do you mean in your country? You have a city where a black person cannot really go to. We know Cape Town is not really like. If you are black, they'll be asking, "What are you going to? Who sent you? Whose house are you? Who gave you transport money?" Like,
okay. So just a quick recap, right? Before we deviate from this. So this is typically in Pretoria and Durban and Joburg, right? This is what is going on, all this protest. And they are saying that they're trying to kick out illegal blacks.
So that's what they keep on saying. They say illegal.
How do you identify illegal people? That's the question.
Yes, but let me talk from a legal perspective. I hate to always bring law into it. In law, really, there's nobody that is illegal, right? When people say people are illegal, maybe they mean the process to which they came to the country are illegal. But I think citizens, the effrontery, the audacity, the loquacity, the tenacity to see somebody and go, "Excuse me, seller, what are you doing here?" It comes from a lack of understanding of the law. No human being is illegal, whether or not, in fact, by law, whether or not they came in legally or illegally. As a human being, they are not illegal. So if you have a problem with the process within which they came to your country, then you're going to address what that problem is from an immigration perspective. But you cannot see a human being and say, "Talk, let me hear you. Aha, this accent, where are you?" That is targeting. This is exactly
It's
what it is.
discrimination. That's
It
bias.
is,
That's
it's
discrimination.
at the highest level because everybody would be suspicious. Imagine Chidima, the example you gave, somebody who was born in South Africa, who lived in South Africa, who was going to represent like everything South African, but just because her lineage has some tie to Nigeria, her name Nigeria. Even when Chidima talks, you will not hear Amaka. You will hear Sebote. Like her voice, her accent. It's just the identification. And of course, I understand South Africa is dealing with a post-apartheid era. They are still fresh in their decolonization. But we are not the problems. The Black people, the Nigerians, they are not the problems. The Nigerians there are not. I've worked in South Africa. I've lived in Durban, Pretoria, Cape Town, Joburg. I've done even my research, my PhD work was a lot of it is in South Africa. I know there are South Africans who don't support this, but it
doesn't feel like that the South Africans who don't support it are speaking up.
That's tacit approval now. When people are doing it, but you don't talk, they're doing. It's like the people who I've seen some prominent orators from South Africa, like leaders on social media, they will go, "Yeah, this is the problem." They're just dancing around the Baba's chair without really saying, "Hey, this is." I think it's only that, what's his name, that Mahima, that political
yeah.
He's the only one who said, "You guys are kind of losing it. You are targeting the wrong people who employ you. Go to the Nigerian embassy. I've looked at the records. Look at the data you have on Nigerians. More Nigerians in South Africa employ South Africans than they employ Nigerians. Nigerians are even skeptical of other Nigerians. They're like, let me employ South Africans. They'll employ the Zimbabweans before they employ South Africans. Nigerians file taxes, contribute to the South African economy more than indigenous South Africans themselves. You know our people now. We don't want to enter trouble. We're already targeted. Maybe not trust me, and we're very like, let me not be involved. But all of this is because, like Shade mentioned, this whole rage baiting, social media, whatever, people thinking that the problem is the other immigrants as opposed to their system itself.
And this is not just directed at just Nigerians.
It's not. Ghanaians, Zimbabweans, like you mentioned as well, yes.
So is there a solution from I don't want to go from a government level, right? I mean, because this has been a lingering thing. And whether we like it or not, South Africa are not ready to go to therapy because we know that their issue is wrapped inside where they are coming from.
Yeah.
We know their issue. We know the white people never left. That's a big issue on its own. So on the surface level, apart from saying go back to your country, what could possibly abate this situation?
Just to add to that, I also think that our leaders they have failed us as Africans, because I think that if you have good relationships at that level as leaders, your people will have good relationships. I don't think I have seen any state. I know they said Ramaphosa has come out to say, oh, they will tackle it, but it seems like he's just made a speech that nothing really has been done. I don't think any arrests, I could be wrong, but I don't think any arrests have been made since this protest started. There are people that have been targeted, there are people that have died, lost their lives, there are people in hospital. So if Ramaphosa doesn't look at a Nigerian president, a Ghanaian president, or feel like we're allies, or we're friends, or we're diplomatic friends, maybe not friends like, oh, we're sharing a drink, but we're friends. If he doesn't see them like that, I don't think the people in these countries will see us like that.
Yes.
They won't think that we're anything or a big deal
But
that
also,
they have to respect.
It's politics. He needs the vote of his people. He's not going to outrightly condemn, because this is a sentiment that he knows that a lot of people have. I don't think that's why it's the opposition that is saying what they're saying, because they have no dog in the fight per se, if you know what I mean.
Yeah.
So I don't think it's about political alliance in terms of government. I think that but you have a point. But I think that more than them regarding Nigeria, if they regard our business.
You know that if they regarded Nigeria, they won't protest in the first. If we were,
No.
I don't think happened.
Because
All of this, I don't think we should have even happened.
This is not just about
of course.
Nigerians.
Ghanaians.
Yeah.
Sorry.
You can compare this situation to no, I'm not talking about the violence aspect of it, but I'm talking about the hate aspect of it. You can also compare it to the hate that blacks face in American countries or American, because it just stems from these guys are doing better than us. Why? And I don't understand, because unfortunately Nigerians are too gifted. There's nothing we can do about it. That's how God created us. So I think for me, I just see jealousy there in the sense that once they see we are doing a lot better than them, they now look at themselves like, oh, but this guy, how can these guys be doing better than us in our own home? This is unfair to us. And that's the same idea that Americans have, Canadians have, when you hear them say, oh, go back to your country, because they tell you, oh, we are taking all their jobs. Oh, you guys are taking our jobs, they're taking everything. So, you've got some areas, you see it's only Nigerians that live here, is rich man because they have money, they're doing this or whatever. Do you get? So why we need to find out why they're so, why is it that they can't work as hard? Because we talked about what we will do when we're working, like what we're going through when we're working in Nigeria. Let's not even talk about what our university system puts us through,
right?
To learn, or even our secondary or primary school system puts us through. So it's not like we're just lounging and we just became successful. Most of us worked so hard to get where we are.
But my question to all of you is, if Nigeria was working as well as South Africa works in terms of economy and, what they have, because they're better off, would you be as tolerant to outsiders?
Let me attempt to answer. First of all, there are more than 200,000 South Africans. I'm not even talking the ones that married Nigerian and moved to Nigeria, Lagos and Ibadan and the rest. There is no Nigerian that is troubling any South African in Nigeria. We always assume that it's one-sided. We have Kenyans in Nigeria. We have South Africans in Nigeria. We have Indians. We have people Nigeria, we don't target other people, even though we should, but we don't. So it's one-sided because it is them targeting our people. But I want you to look at this comparison when they think a Nigerian is taking their job. We know Nigerians are the ones who suffer the most to get visas to any other country. They only take the best of the best. Nigeria will submit driver's license, school living certificate, bank statement, fitness check. Like, you're getting the top crop. So you that cannot even wash your boxers, you're comparing with somebody who submitted a bulk load of documents to get into your country, to even now begin to do.
Even going far. Have you forgotten that in Nigeria, if you even have someone that is non-Nigeria coming to, especially white people, have you forgotten what they call them? Have you forgotten how much they get paid? They don't even get, they treat them, they put them on a pedestal, they treat them, they call them expatriates. They don't get paid. Yeah, they don't get paid naira. They get paid dollars because they are seen as better than even.
Exactly.
Them with full arm.
We treat them differently. We treat them better than we treat ourselves
as our people. And God. I want to also, again, I know not all Nigerians like that, Ghanaians and other people treated, but I want to go a little bit into history. We Nigerians, we spent money, time, advocacy to support Black South Africans. If not for Nigeria's contribution, Black South Africans would still be where they were in the 1990s. We are the ones who funded the Organization of African Unity. We're the ones who stopped buying products from South Africa that were made by only white folks. Nigeria collected what they call Mandela tax. In the 1980s, we gathered money in Lagos, Ibadan, Kaduna. We said, everybody bring money. Our brothers in South Africa, they are being held down. We need to liberate them. What is independence in Nigeria if it's not independent in Ghana, in South Africa? People went to the organization, the OAU then, which is now AU. We paid money. We struggled. We were the ones who contributed to the ANC, the African National Congress. Our donations, we gave scholarship to South Africans who went to study in Unilag. Scholarship, come and study for free, while our people from Surulere paid school fees. So it's not even like, oh, give us professional
It's not
treatment.
mouth.
It's like a slap to our. It's like you're knocking your one's head. Have you forgotten your history? We mobilized for your freedom. Our workers put money. Our Nigerian Labour Congress. I remember that time. Solidarity forever. It was those songs that we even send them songs. This is what we're doing in our own, in our own country. Here's what you need to do. We gave university scholarship. We gave refugee support. Do you know how many South Africans became nationalized in the early 80s, late 90s? Like, come on. Talk about the oil and economic pressure. OPEC, all those declarations we were writing and signing up and down. For you to now come back and say, mind you, you leave the ones that come from Sweden to your country, Netherlands to your country, you don't see anything. But the ones that contributed to your liberation, spent money, time, resources, you say go back to your country after employing you, paying for the visa, come on. I feel like there's a lack of knowledge somewhere, or maybe lack of knowledge. Maybe we just and if we talk, they will say we are bragging. But even we Nigerians, we don't recount those things. We don't recount it. We don't list and say, see the things we did from you, to support you.
But so again, where do we go from here? That for me, I'm always like, what is the light at the end of the tunnel? Because a lot of Nigerians,
there's no light. Forget it, Shadi.
I think there's lights. I think there's lights.
There's always lights.
I think we need to fix our own shit back home. I think everybody needs to. I'm not saying that. I'm not saying that.
We need to start ourselves.
I'm not even saying that
Canada, you have Nigerian on hate on each other, even in Canada.
It's not hate. We just don't help.
Do you understand? How will you be in Canada and you'll be doing well and you cannot help? Because
I don't know what you're talking about. I don't have Nigerians around me, so this is your cry for Nigerians.
Maybe because I have a lot of Nigerians around.
I don't have Nigerians around me.
Of people gatekeeping how to get ordinary PR. Ordinary PR, they'll be gatekeeping. They'll say because they don't want it, they don't want Nigerians to go and spoil. Spoil what? I know they are bad. There's some people in the bad. There's some bad bunch, but still, you see, you hear those kind of stories. It makes me so sad that you have people that can think like that. That you rather someone suffers and they deport the person back than helping the person. So I think it needs to start from us and our own thinking. Let's start thinking. I don't know what kind of Kool-Aid those Indians are drinking. They should give us some of that Kool-Aid so that we can start loving ourselves better. I think that's what we need.
So why I said that we also need to fix our shit is because the only reason why you have the numbers of Nigerians who are in South Africa today is because of our own economic decline back home. Nigerians will not.
Yes, Dupe. Yes, as usual, Dupe. I understand what Dupe is saying, but even back home, we still have problems back home. We still have tribalism. So why are we having tribalism back home?
But it's different, though. Tribalism is different.
It's the same ideology.
It's different. It's different. It's like very.
If someone is too dark, if someone is Muslim, they can't marry Christian. If someone is this, they can't. Come on.
It's the same everywhere. Let me tell you why it's different. I get your point and I agree with you. We cannot talk about these issues outside the broader structure of discrimination and all, but there's levels to it. There's really big levels to it because there's no country that is fixed. Even countries like Canada, like no place is perfect. Of course, some places are better lived than others, but we'll never get to a point where we're like, oh, Nigeria is now good enough. Everybody start coming back. It would never happen, but we can. These are things that can be easily solved. These are things that, and I don't want to like solution-wise, I just feel like we don't have enough educated people who are in public office. There's a phone call you can make and say, this is your bloody thing you're doing right now, wrap it up. Like, if you don't do it, your South African companies are leaving our country. Like MTN, Kia, ShopRite. If you don't let the companies talk to the government and say, oh boy, you got to chill. That's how diplomacy is done. No, like, I just feel like we don't have educated people who just basic knowledge of diplomacy, international relations. When you mess with we hear Nigerians are being targeted. Okay, embassy is like, all right, South Africa, get it right. You talk to the right people, they will behave. But nobody's advocating because the bar is so low, and it's literally all man for himself. And it relates to the first point you guys were talking about with this tech guy who's like, oh, Nigerians, they're not many good quality people.
What's going on here?
Everybody has gone.
The guy does not value us.
I mean,
It was Nelly.
I'm
Nelly
a
said,
guest
"Who
though.
is this?"
He has now become the how can we blame South Africa when you are asking who is this? You now remove me from this.
Who invited you?
Xenophobic.
Who invited this Nigerian, this bloody Nigerian? We don't want Nigerians. We don't want Nigerians in our platform.
At the
We
end
have
of the day,
documents.
yeah, we've really suffered, Sha. We've
Yeah.
really suffered. Despite all that we've contributed, we've
But
really
can
suffered.
we not also acknowledge we are also badly behaved? Because
Everybody's badly behaved, Shade. Everybody's badly
In
behaved.
South Africa, Nigerians, our drug, the
No. Shade, please don't even go there. Don't go there.
So let's be realistic. We have to. You cannot.
No.
Okay.
That has nothing to do with what is going on now.
Me, I even want to say this, right? Let me tell you why I agree with you about, like, for me, generally, everybody can be badly behaved. One thing my father used to tell me as a child is nobody used to throw stone at dustbin. People don't envy dustbin. People don't, like, you have no problem. You're indifferent about it, right? If Nigerians were like so bad, so depleted, can't add anything, it will be more of pity as opposed to anger, right? It's like when somebody see you and they hate you, it's a strong emotion. Your emotion over something you don't like, it should be indifference. But I've heard people say, like, it's a challenge. Nigerians are dating South African women. Nigerians are any small success. Nigerians have come again. You're the one. You're successful in music. Nigerian men, they say our prick is too big. They say we're too ambitious. Like, can we? If we,
Who you be safe?
No, I just say, like, sometimes, like, what do women would do? If we date, they say we date too much.
Shade,
This is my problem. Is it Nigerian men? The PR you people have in abroad is very biased.
Okay. It's not, and again, for me, kudos to our culture. If our culture says you take a woman out, you should normally see how you can pay the bill as opposed to bring a calculator out. It's not our fault, it's our culture. We did not shit on yours. When your men come to our country,
we need to change that culture now. We're not paying bill for any woman again. Let everybody pay their bill.
Maybe that's what's causing all this problem. Because I've seen women go. I saw a Kenyan woman and a South African friend go on was it on TikTok? They say that once they date a Nigerian man, they can never go back. And I'm like, your men are watching this and you think they'll be happy with us? You chop and clean mouth. You keep quiet. You're going to say Nigerian men, they can do this. They can. You can't relax. Close your mouths. Now they're beating us and chasing us out.
You people are paying bills, making them look bad.
Hey, God.
Wait. Can you hear me?
We can hear you.
Yes,
now.
we can hear you now.
How did we get to? I don't know. This our guest threw me up. In fact, threw me out.
I was
flung
so
me.
late. No vex.
See, let me just make a short contribution to it. I think the problem is one, lack of South Africans are really, really uneducated. Majority of their population, they are uneducated. And you see, and this is also because they lack
Unpopulated or educated.
uneducated. They are just about 60 million now. Waiting, how many they be? Lagos, Ogun, and Abuja together is more than them. They are just uneducated, and they also lack a sense of history. And why do I say so? This is the same South Africa that during the apartheid, Nigerians, civil servants, even students that were on scholarship were contributing from their scholarship to support the ANC, in their fight against apartheid. Now, what I've also realized that over time, because of the apartheid that they went through, right, and their fight for freedom, they've become so entitled. South Africa started degenerating since 1990. In fact, Nelson Mandela ruled first for one term, 1990 to 1994. When he left, he didn't do second term. From the moment Black people started South Africans, the moment they started governing that South Africa them as a country, is deteriorated. Anything that you see of South Africa surviving today is what the whites and the so-called colonial masters are still in charge of. The institutions that are surviving, that are keeping South Africa floating today, is what they got pre-independence. Post-independence, South Africa has not made any significant progress. Post-independence in 1990, they've not made any significant progress, and it's because of this sense of entitlement. They have to get everything free. That's why they can't go to Cape Town. It will shock many people today that Cape Town is like the 7th or the 8th most beautiful city in the world, as crazy as South Africa is. But many of their blacks can't go there because when this sense of entitlement make them very aggressive. Look at that idiot that is leading that charge. He can't even speak English. He doesn't even understand common economics. Okay, you are saying the Nigerians are coming and taking our job. Okay, if they close that shop, if they close those shops, and the funny thing, the people they are going after are normal hustlers, average Nigerians that are trying to survive on the streets of South Africa. They close those shops, those that have barber shop, electronic shops, and all that. When they chase them away, they burn those shops or they close those shops. They don't even fill in those gaps that they've created. And unfortunately, they have a very weak leadership. Look at all the comments and the statements Ramaphosa has been making. Shallow, very shallow. That doesn't give any hope.
He's doing it on purpose.
No. See. What I'm saying is that it's not on purpose. The guy is weak. I think what Nigeria should do is Nigeria has only that we also have a dummy as the president. Nigeria has the capacity, and I'm saying this with all sense of responsibility. Nigeria has the capacity to settle Nigerians in South Africa, resettle them and bring them home. Send DSTV and what's that other useless company? MTN. Send them packing.
I swear.
In South Africa today, one of their highest grossing company in South Africa is MTN. MTN, that is one of their highest taxpayer in their country, makes one of their highest, make their biggest profits from Nigeria.
I heard one of those two companies have been taken over by another. Somebody else's Canal something is already handling whether MTN. It doesn't belong to South Africans anymore, basically.
Multi-choice.
It's multi-choice.
Canal Plus.
Okay.
I've taken over
what they did was that it was not a complete takeover. They just acquired interest in it. So that part of it that still remains South Africa, Nigeria should nationalize it, take it over. Let them get the hell out of our country. Because you see, what I've discovered is that, can you imagine that we have Nigerians in Sudan and Niger Republic? What I've discovered is that some Nigerians have developed so much resentment in Nigeria that they never see anything good in Nigeria. They can't live in Nigeria. Every other place is good but Nigeria. That's why you see Nigerians going to countries like South Africa, jobs that they can actually hustle in Nigeria and still make money. They're going to South Africa to hustle it and subject themselves to this